Like most fossil plants, Lepidodendron is a tree known by many fossil names, one for each of its body parts. Unlike most fossil plants, like 99% of those fossil names are for various forms of bark. Scale trees are maximalist in bark textures, in part because they are extremely minimalist in their desire to hold on to body parts. They shed anything that is not currently useful. The most famous bark texture is caused by the shedding of its many, many needle-like leaves. This creates the scales of the scale tree, a repeating texture full of leaf scars, the central lump, and leaf pillows, the diamond stuff above and below. And after looking at this texture for as long as it took me to make it repeat in Photoshop, all I can think of is that it looks really gynecological, which was helpful actually because it made me finally realize that my pattern was upside down. The leaf scar, goes at the top, people. I wouldn't want you to be unable to find it. The labia, the leaf cushions, have stomata, which means they were probably photosynthetic and therefore green. However, I couldn't find anything that confirmed whether the interconnected bits also did. And on modern club mosses, I saw the interconnections were brown, so I colored the leaf pads more vibrantly than the rest. This is the primary fancy bark, but it is certainly not the only one. As Lepidodendron grows, its increasing trunk size makes this lovely scaly surface break and begin to fall off. Underneath, you can find the periderm, the corky interior, the crinoria. I don't know if the K is silent. Weirdly, there's some evidence that this too may have been partly photosynthetic. Everything about Lepidodendron is maximized for grabbing onto sunlight. And of course, there is also the specialty root bark, the stigmaria. If you think that name feels very Jesus-themed, well, the bark is full of holes. They're from rootlets, not nails, but I do still suspect the name was intentional. Now, the stigmaria is interesting because, and this may shock you, there's evidence that it too was photosynthetic. Lepidodendron is beginning to sound a little desperate here. And I will admit that for a while I was very confused as to why you would ever make photosynthetic roots. After all, the ground was not see-through during the Carboniferous. But these are swamp plants, and sometimes swamp plants grow in the water, and the water is transparent, so that makes sense. Also, the rootlets themselves may have become shootlets sometimes and stuck up out of the ground, which also makes sense because it turns out that these things that I keep calling roots are not proper roots. They are modified trunks and leaves. Anyhow, point is that your lepidodendron should be texturally complex and probably partly to mostly green. And shedding, although I have not gotten very good at making that happen in SpeedTree.